Imagine standing at the doorstep of your past, a life you thought you had lost forever, and suddenly, the one person you thought you'd never see again is standing right before you, alive. The shock, the confusion, the overwhelming emotions. You thought this moment was gone for good. But here it is, and it changes everything. Season 19 of Heartland opens with a twist that no one saw coming, a reunion that will leave you breathless. Ty Borden is back, and his return to Heartland shakes the foundation of everything Amy and the family thought they had moved on from. But what does this reunion really mean? Is it a new beginning, or is it the start of something far more complicated? The episode opens on a serene Heartland ranch, a place where the sun sets lazily behind the rolling hills, casting a golden glow over the stables. Amy Fleming is alone, reflecting on the peace she's managed to find after the chaos that Ty's death caused in her life. She's at ease with the horses, moving with the same quiet grace she always has. But there's something in her eyes, something unspoken, lingering. Despite everything she's been through, a part of her hasn't let go of Ty. Not really. She doesn't have to say it, but it's there in the way she works with the horses, as though they're the only ones who truly understand the grief she's carried. Yet, even in this moment of calm, change is in the air. Something feels different. Amy can sense it. The sound of her daughter, Lindy, calling out to her from outside the barn breaks through the quiet, pulling her from her thoughts. Amy wipes her hands on her jeans, her face softening into a smile as she hears Lindy's excitement in the distance. "Mom, you've got to come see this!" Lindy shouts. The tone in her voice is filled with a mixture of excitement and disbelief, something Amy's never quite heard before. She raises an eyebrow in curiosity, wiping away the lingering thoughts of the past, and heads toward the barn door. As she steps outside, the world seems to slow down, and the air feels heavy, like something is about to happen, something unexplainable. Amy's eyes scan the horizon, looking for whatever it is Lindy wants her to see. And then she freezes. There, standing at the entrance of the ranch, is someone she never thought she'd see again. Someone she thought she had lost for good. Ty Borden. Alive. For a moment, everything around Amy fades. The horses, the ranch, the setting sun. Everything blurs except for him. Ty. Standing there, as real and tangible as he was before. Her heart skips a beat. She knows this can't be real. She must be dreaming. She has to be dreaming. But no, there he is, his familiar face, his soft eyes looking at her in a way she's almost forgotten. "Ty?" she whispers, her voice barely a sound against the wind. The shock is palpable, like a physical blow. She can't comprehend what she's seeing. How is this possible? What does it mean? Every part of her wants to rush into his arms, but another part, the part that's been living with his loss for so long, holds her back. She doesn't want to believe it. She doesn't want to be hurt again. But Ty's eyes, those eyes filled with so many emotions, and now, with an unspoken apology, tell her that this is real. This is happening. Ty takes a step forward, his voice shaking slightly. "Amy, I never wanted to leave." His words are barely above a whisper, but they cut through the silence with a force that knocks the wind out of her. There's a desperation in his eyes, an urgency to make things right, to explain. But how could he? After everything. Amy steps toward him, her heart racing in her chest. Every step an echo of the years they've spent apart. She can't quite bring herself to reach out. She's afraid that if she touches him, it will all fade away like a dream. But then, he speaks again, and his words bring everything crashing back into focus. "I never wanted to leave you, Amy, but I had to. For you. For Lindy. I couldn't come back until I was sure that I could be the man you needed me to be." The weight of his words lands heavily on her heart. It's as if every word he says is a bridge being built between the two of them, one that she's afraid to cross. It's been so long. She's moved on. She's built a life without him. But hearing him say this, seeing him there, alive, standing in front of her, it feels like the past is reaching out to pull her back. Can she let go of the hurt? Can she allow herself to believe that he's really here? Or is this just a cruel twist of fate. Amy's hands tremble as she reaches out, her fingers brushing against his arm. The moment the connection is made, it's like the floodgates open. The walls she's built over the years come crashing down. She throws her arms around him, pulling him close, holding him tight as if she's afraid that if she lets go, he will vanish. You came back to us, Amy whispers, the tears already starting to fall. And for the first time in years, she allows herself to feel the joy that had been buried under grief. The sound of a voice, small, innocent, and filled with wonder, interrupts their moment. "Daddy?" Lindy steps forward, her eyes wide, unsure of what to make of the scene unfolding before her. This is the man she's heard so much about, the man who's been part of her life only in stories, photographs, and memories. Now, he's here, alive, in front of her. Her voice shakes, full of both hope and disbelief. "Daddy?" Ty drops to his knees, overcome with emotion as he meets his daughter's gaze. His voice cracks, but the words come out as if they were meant for this moment, for this reunion. "Yes, sweetheart. It's me. I'm here." Lindy hesitates for a split second, then runs into his arms, the embrace between father and daughter filled with an emotion that transcends words. It's a moment of reconnection, of healing, of something that felt impossible becoming reality. As the family stands there, wrapped in a fragile but hopeful moment, the tension is palpable. What does this reunion mean for Amy and Ty? For Lindy, who is just starting to understand what it means to have her father back? And for the entire Heartland family, whose lives will never be the same after this moment? This isn't just a reunion, it's a turning point. For the first time in a long while, there's hope. Hope that perhaps love, forgiveness, and second chances can heal the wounds of the past. But can they really rebuild what they once had? Or will this unexpected return only make the journey ahead more complicated than ever before? As the reunion unfolds, Amy and Ty stand in the quiet space of the Heartland Ranch, their arms wrapped tightly around each other, as if holding onto the fragments of a love they thought they had lost forever. But in the moments that follow, the joy of their reunion begins to feel like a fragile thread, easily pulled apart by the weight of all that has passed between them. There's an undercurrent of tension that neither of them can escape, the reality of the time they've spent apart, and the years of grief, anger, and unspoken words that have been left unresolved. For Amy, there's an overwhelming rush of conflicting emotions. On one hand, the warmth of Ty's embrace feels like coming home, as if a part of her that was lost has finally been found again. Her heart, still bruised from his death, beats a little faster, a little more alive than it has in years. But even as she clings to him, there's a gnawing uncertainty in the back of her mind. She's afraid to believe in this moment. She's afraid to fully open her heart again, only to have it shattered once more. "I don't understand, Ty," Amy whispers, pulling back just slightly to look into his eyes, searching for answers. "How is this even possible? We thought you were gone forever. You were gone." The words sound like a question, but there's an edge of disbelief in her voice, a hint of the pain that lingers even as the joy tries to break through. Ty's expression hardens, the vulnerability in his eyes quickly masked by the weight of the truth he's been carrying for years. "I never wanted to leave you, Amy, but I had to. I couldn't come back until I knew I was whole again. I couldn't be the man you needed me to be if I didn't take the time to heal, to figure things out." He steps back, his hands trembling slightly as he speaks, almost as if he's afraid of the words coming out of his mouth. Amy, still processing the shock of his return, feels a sharp pang in her chest. She wants to believe him, wants to believe that he's here for the right reasons, that this reunion isn't just some cruel twist of fate, but the hurt from the past is so raw. "But we moved on, Ty," she says, the words heavy in the air between them. "I had to keep going. I had to raise Lindy on my own. I couldn't wait forever." Ty's eyes soften at the mention of Lindy. He's missed so much of her life, and the guilt of it weighs heavily on his shoulders. "I know, Amy, I know. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything. But I'm here now. I'm here for you. For Lindy. For us. I want to make things right." The sincerity in his voice is undeniable. but it's not enough to erase the years of pain. Amy wants to believe that they can pick up where they left off, that their love is still strong enough to withstand the storm of emotions swirling between them. But deep down, she knows it's not that simple. Too much time has passed. Too much has changed. And the person standing in front of her now is not the man she said goodbye to all those years ago. As Ty and Amy stand there, a silent tension fills the space between them. It's as if the ranch itself holds its breath, waiting to see what happens next. Can they rebuild their broken past? Or is this a moment that will forever be defined by the ghosts of their lost time together? Meanwhile, Lindy, still standing a few feet away, watches her parents with a mixture of wonder and confusion. She doesn't understand the weight of what's happening, not fully. But she feels it. She feels the shift in the air, the sudden, undeniable change in her family. She has heard the stories of her father, seen the photos, and wondered why he's been missing from her life. But now, here he is, standing in front of her, a real, living person. "Mom?" Lindy calls softly, her voice uncertain, seeking reassurance. Her eyes dart between Amy and Ty, trying to make sense of the whirlwind that's unfolded before her. Amy, still caught in the web of emotions with Ty, gives Lindy a small, reassuring smile. "It's okay, sweetheart," she says, her voice trembling just slightly. "It's really him." Your dad, Ty, hearing Amy's words, slowly turns to face his daughter. His heart swells with a mix of fear and hope as he kneels down in front of her. He wants to say the right thing, but the words feel inadequate. "Lindy," he begins, his voice breaking. "I know I've missed so much, and I can't make up for the time we've lost. But I'm here now. I'm not going anywhere." Lindy's eyes shine with a mixture of disbelief and longing. She hesitates for only a moment before she runs into his arms, the years of separation finally dissolving in that single, emotional moment. Ty holds her tightly, never wanting to let go, as if afraid this dream might fade away just as quickly as it arrived. But even in the warmth of their embrace, there's a sense of uncertainty that hangs in the air. What does this reunion mean for them as a family? Can Ty really make up for everything he's missed? Or will the scars of the past always linger, even as they try to heal? As the family clings to each other in a moment of raw emotion, the door to the house creaks open. Jack, Lou, and Georgie stand in the threshold, their faces filled with a mix of shock and disbelief. They, too, have been living in the aftermath of Ty's death, each of them carrying their own version of loss and grief. And now, seeing him standing there, alive, it's almost too much to comprehend. For Jack, this moment brings an overwhelming rush of emotions. His relationship with Ty was complicated, filled with both tension and deep love. Ty was the son Jack never had, and when he lost him, a piece of himself seemed to be lost as well. Now, seeing Ty standing before him, Jack's stoic exterior begins to crack, and for the first time in years, a deep sense of relief floods his heart. "Ty," Jack says, his voice thick with emotion. "You're really here. It's you." Ty looks up, his eyes meeting Jack's, and for a moment, the two men stand there, not needing to say anything more. The years of grief, of loss, and of unspoken words are all understood in that one look. For Lou, the return of Ty is a bittersweet moment. She has been through so much, losing her sister, the struggles with the ranch, and the pain of seeing Amy go through so much heartache. Now, to have Ty back, it feels like a miracle, but also a test of everything she's been through. "Ty," Lou whispers, almost unable to believe it. "You're really here." But even as the family embraces the miracle of his return, the question remains, what happens now? How will they move forward? And what will they have to confront to truly heal the broken pieces of their lives? As the reunion continues, the past and present collide in a way that will leave everyone at Heartland wondering, can love truly heal all wounds? As the hours pass and the initial shock of Ty's return begins to settle, the family finds themselves in a whirlwind of emotions. The moment of joy, of seeing the prodigal son return, now comes with an undeniable heaviness. For Amy, the complexities of the past feel even more vivid. She watches Ty from across the room, her heart battling with the deep love she still holds for him and the painful memories of the life she's had to build without him. Ty's return is not a clean slate. It never will be. The years they spent apart have left deep scars, not just on Amy's heart, but on the very fabric of their family. Their daughter, Lindy, has grown up without him. Amy has spent every day raising her, being both mother and father. The role of a father was something Lindy never fully understood, only heard about in stories and seen in pictures. Now that he's here, standing before her, the reality of what that means is still so new, so fragile. Ty notices the distance in Amy's eyes, the uncertainty that hasn't completely left her. He knows that the past cannot simply be erased. Their love is still there, but it's laced with a history of hurt. "Amy," Ty says quietly, his voice thick with regret. "I don't expect everything to be the same. I know I can't just step back in and make everything right. But I want to be here now. I want to try." Amy turns to him, her eyes filled with unshed tears, a slight tremor in her voice. "You say you want to be here, but how do we even begin? You've missed so much, Ty. Lindy, the ranch, me, all those moments we thought we'd never get back." Ty's gaze falters, guilt shadowing his expression. He had thought over the years about how he would explain his absence to Amy, to Lindy. But now that he's standing in front of them, the words are harder to find. "I'm sorry for every moment I missed," he says softly, "and I don't expect forgiveness right away. But I'm here, Amy. I'll do whatever it takes." The words, though heartfelt, seem to hang in the air between them, unable to bridge the gulf that's formed in their hearts. Amy's mind races. She wants to believe him, but part of her is still afraid to put her full trust in him again. She has built a life without him, a life that no longer revolves around the dream they once shared. What does it mean for her to invite him back into this life? What does it mean for Lindy? Meanwhile, Jack, Lou, and Georgie have their own concerns. The weight of Ty's return affects them all in different ways. Jack, who once saw Ty as the son he never had, feels a profound sense of joy mixed with confusion. Ty's return challenges everything Jack thought he had come to terms with: his grief, his acceptance of Ty's death, and the lessons learned in his absence. "Are you really back for good, Ty?" Jack asks one night, as he and Ty sit outside under the stars. His voice is softer now, no longer questioning, but filled with the weight of years gone by. Jack has always been a man of few words, but the depth of his emotions shows in his eyes. Ty, who has been carrying this heavy burden of regret and loss, nods slowly. "I don't expect it to be easy, Jack, but I'm here to stay. I need to make up for all that time, all those lost chances. I need to be the man I wasn't before." His voice cracks slightly as he speaks, the years of separation weighing heavily on him as well. Jack watches him closely, taking in the sincerity of his words. He knows Ty, perhaps better than anyone else, and he knows that Ty's return is not about making up for lost time, but about the hard work of rebuilding what was broken. "I never gave up on you, Ty," Jack says quietly. "Even when I thought you were gone, I never gave up on you. But there's a lot we need to work through. It won't be easy, but I'm willing to try." The simple declaration from Jack holds a lot of weight. Ty's eyes glisten with gratitude, a bond that was once fractured beginning to heal, piece by piece. There is no magic solution here, no easy answers. What Ty wants, and what Jack is willing to offer, is the space to rebuild. But will the wounds that remain prove too deep to heal? Lou, too, is conflicted. As a mother and a sister, she's seen both the joy and the pain that Ty's return brings. She's watched Amy navigate the impossible road of single motherhood. And now, with Ty back, Lou's emotions are a mix of relief and uncertainty. She knows how much this means to Amy, but she can't ignore the fears that swirl in the back of her mind. Can Ty truly be the person he needs to be for his family? Can he truly be present when the weight of the past is so heavy? One evening, as the family gathers in the living room, Lou pulls Ty aside for a private conversation. "I want to believe in this, Ty," she says, her voice quiet, yet firm. "But there's so much that needs to be addressed, so much that has been left unsaid for so long. Can you be the man Amy and Lindy need? Can you be there for them after everything that's happened? Ty's eyes search Lou's, the woman who has seen him through some of his hardest moments. He nods slowly, knowing that this isn't just about him and Amy anymore. This is about rebuilding the entire family. All of them. I want to be there, Lou, he says, his voice steady. I want to make it right. For Amy, for Lindy, for all of us. Despite his words, there's an undeniable uncertainty in the air. The past may have brought them here, but the future is still a question mark. Can love truly heal what's been broken, or is this reunion just the beginning of a much longer road? As the days pass and the family adjusts to Ty's presence, they almost face the reality that the work of healing has only just begun. The question lingers in the air. Will they be able to overcome the weight of the past, or will they fall apart once again? As the days unfold, the emotional aftershocks of Ty's return begin to ripple through the Heartland family. Despite the initial joy and relief, the tension simmering just beneath the surface becomes impossible to ignore. The weight of years lost and the complexity of the relationships within the family make it clear that Ty's return is not a simple reunion. While there are moments of hope and healing, there are also painful reminders of the struggles they've all faced during his absence.